Hello everybody, welcome to Marathon. What a scene. Massive sea of faces here for the first home game of the Premiers. The Knights against the Warriors, only round 2 of the National Rugby League. Remarkable. Talk about the game of rugby league being back, where you're going to place them when they all get back.
Well, there's plenty here, all right, Graham. There's no room whatsoever for too many more.
It was a very warm day in Newcastle, beach weather for everybody here in short sleeve shirts tonight. Talk about the fireworks. The defending ARL Premiers, now they want to be the NRL champs on a gorgeous night in the City of Steel, Newcastle. Wonderful atmosphere. Just 2 rounds in, you'd think it's the grand final. The Johns boys. Andrew, number 1, you've got to stop this guy. What a team they've got, though. O'Davis at the back. Hughes, Matthew Gidley, Craigie, Jason Moody, the 3/4, Matthew and Andrew, the ones you've got to stop. Butterfield, Jackson, Harrigan, Richards, Fletcher, Teaton, the forwards, the coach, Steve Lanane. But Matthew Ridge is back for the Warriors. And Joe Vangana, what a clash between Joe and the man they call the Chief, Paul Harrigan, in this one. The Warriors getting back virtually to full strength with Ridge joining the side. Hoppy, Nigel Vangana, Kevin Iro, Lee Odenryan, Namu and Jones to do some more tonight to get the win. Vangana, Joe that is, Sideru, Quinton Tongia, Tyron Smith, Steve Kearney, Logan Swan. Plenty to come from the bench, the coach Frank Endicott. Of course, no Malcolm really. Stand by for the national anthem. Ready to rock and roll, but we mentioned no Malcolm really tonight. The Knights coach had to fly back to England following the death of his father. And of course, from everybody, referee Mr. Paul Simpkins. Our best wishes to Malcolm and his family.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'd like to sponsor here this evening the AP Structural and Pipeline Manufacturers of the Duracell range of steel products. Yes.
The Knights and the Warriors, this will be the real yardstick for the 98 season for Auckland. Internationals all over the paddock as referee Paul Simpkins just checks with both sides. One thing that would be handy is a football. Wry smile from Lee Jackson, a former skipper himself of the Great Britain side. Frank Endicott finds some room sideline. That's about the only spot left here at Marathon. Finally, we've got one. Namu just not happy with something. O'Davis awaits. Everybody's getting a little bit edgy.
Yeah, well, I think there's an air of caution in the crowd, to tell the truth, Graham. I spoke to a lot of Knights supporters before we came up to our commentary position. As opposed to Souths last week, they're very, very cautious. I found Souths very optimistic and positive and confident. I don't think these guys are too confident out there tonight.
On the ball.
And neither they should be.
Okay, right.
Terrific clash, this one. Some great personal duels. Namu gets us underway. Butterfield, the veteran, wants one more year with this famous club that took the title last year.
Look at me. Hold here.
Just 12 out. Harrigan. Tongia with a super hit. Really shortened him up. Kevin Iro tried to follow suit with a heavy shot. Really taking it to the Knights. Butterfield wants some more. He doesn't mind one bit. They certainly give him the treatment as well. Tongia once more. Trying to upset them, trying to bustle.
Hands off him. Off the foot.
Matthew Johns helping to try and settle down the side. Fiery start from the Warriors.
It certainly was a fiery start, but also a good start from the Knights front rowers. Paul Harrigan in particular copped a heavy check there from Quinnipongia, but he got up quickly, played the ball and was unable to keep the roll on.
It's set for some sparks, Gaz.
Yeah, we certainly will. I tell you what, Tony Butterfield in that set of six took the ball up twice as Harrigan nearly makes a break there.
Just on the inside, the Johns boys who will look for runners inside and out all night long. Can't give them any room. Gidley, another clever man out wide. Young man with a brilliant future. Down towards the Warriors, 20 looking for the dream start. The Knights, the champs, back at home for the first time. Johns allowed to run. Butterfield easily off his shoulder. Matthew Johns to take over at first receiver. Harrigan wide as a decoy. Extra long ball out to brother Andrew to step, to stay on his feet, to push the pass back for O'Davis. Stop and start from him. Grand final hero last year. Last tackle. The defence has been good for the Warriors. Andrew Johns, plenty of time. Were they all onside? Ridge, easily, to test him out for his first game back.
Excellent take first up there from Matthew Ridge. Showing a lot of confidence as he normally does, but it's been a good start from the Knights. A good set of 6 tackles, but they're up inside the team. First penalty to the Warriors.
I just wonder, back at home, they're on edge, big crowd here at Marathon. The Johns boys, they like to go nice and wide. There's a risk there tonight, is there not, to overplay things?
Well, they want to play for their crowd, and they might get all their bag of tricks out a little bit too early, and that is a temptation for them, Gary.
Yeah, it certainly is, but I tell you what, on that right side there, the Warriors' blind side, they were a little bit short, and they nearly got found wanting. They can't all just spread out wide. They're going to watch their blind side, because Matthew Johns and Andrew will go down there as quick as possible.
Tongia really started the game well. Jones. Logan Swan, good hands. Kevin Iro. Wonderful clash out wide tonight between Kevin Iro and Nigel Vungano against the young man. Matthew Gidley and Owen Craigie. Kearney, nice and wide. Butterfield over the top. Great ball back for Joe Vungano. Just a hit of some numbers here. Ridge back on the inside. The chance was there. Couldn't get a good ball to Nigel Vungano.
Well, the opportunity was certainly created and lost. They don't come along too often. Final execution from the Warriors let them down.
30 out from their own line.
Bring the ball up with you, mate. Got it on the ground.
Referees have been sharp and they've been tough on this rule since the start of the NRL. Must get to your feet instead of just quickly planting that ball. Simpkins is calling Paul Harrigan back as skipper. Just reminding him that he must get to his feet with the ball instead of planting it. Warriors to go inside the 20. They get a chance to break the ice on the board. Joe Vungano. Harrigan goes looking for him, just 5 metres away. Kevin Iro on a short blind with Quinton Tongia. Namu. Logan Swan. Just showing the ball, trying to get the defensive line to prop. Stacey Jones. This time, not a decoy, Kevin Iro! And without any room at all, Sean Hoppy just falls over. What a start for Hoppy, put it down to Iro, and they kept hitting back on this blind side. They are the ones who get the dream starter, rather quiet. 25,000 here at Marathon.
Well, absolutely perfect start from the Warriors. They were patient, held a little bit of an attack, a good set of 6 from the Knights, but they've come back with their own medicine. The last time Kevin Iro came up here, I think, was with the Manly side, and I was coaching them, and I know Kevin destroyed them on his own.
So Hoppy didn't see a lot of the ball against Souths. And tonight he only has to fall about 3 or 4 inches. Some technical problems here tonight at Marathon. Ridge from right out on the chalk. Can't discount him from out wide. We'll hook this one around too far. But the Warriors put their nose in front. 4-0.
Today's match is sponsored by Harvey Norman. Harvey Norman, official supplier of hardware and computers to the Newcastle Impulse Knights.
Newcastle stunned by this early start from the Warriors. Hurtful in defence and looking good with the ball.
Yep, well, I think both sides are looking pretty good at the moment. I was very impressed with Auckland's decision to go for with the tap when they had that last penalty, because Ridgie could have kicked that goal. They showed the confidence of getting to the try line, and it paid off.
Just that early try. Good confident passing and support from Vagana. Hoppy the try scorer. Namu back on the inside for Joe Vagana. Takes 3 of them with him past the 40.
Certainly the 4 props on the field are heavily involved already at this stage of the game. And the heat that's here tonight, you've got to wonder if they can keep going.
I should have said he got out past the 50. Now not a good kick. Gives the ball immediately back to the Knights, who are just a little bit rattled at the moment, Gary Freeman.
Yeah, they certainly are, but I tell you what, going back to that try that Kevin Iro really did set up, Owen Craig is letting them slide out 2 past them. Kevin's getting the big left hand out and held him up just enough for young Hoppy to go over.
Andrew Johns out for Butterfield. Fumble from Wayne Richards allows the Warriors to tidy things up. Pete. Harrigan has support, decides to go alone. Now he goes back. Andrew Johns. Craigie. Iro absolutely all over him. Andrew Johns just creating a little bit of time and waits this one inside the 10.
Good bit of professional play there from Johns. Just giving all these players a little bit of a rest, time to get their defence set and force an error. That's what they'll be trying to do now.
Hang on, no bally. No ball. Hold it still. Square up.
Takes a while to pack this scrum.
Get in, second.
Namu. Logan Swan. Against South, guilty of coughing the ball up a couple of times. Close to their own danger zone, cost them some points. Pongia, strong run, Butterfield with a heavy hit. Kearney. Back for Namu. Good quick hands, Jones. As they try and open it up a little. Nigel Vagana, great defence from Matthew Gidley. High quality game, early stages here at Marathon. Davis. Trying to get some support for Jason Moody. Just inching back towards the 50. Harrigan. Flicking it out the back. Andrew Johns. Gidley allowed to get outside Stacey Jones. O'Davis. "30 metres away as the Knights threaten to hit back Andrew Johns. Inside for Matthew. They rush with a short blindside again. Odenrine picks up the dregs, but he might have had a hand out over the sideline. Original knock on against the Knights, so good defence in the end.
Very good defence from Auckland. They're sliding across. They're actually ending with 2 extra defenders on both sides of the field, so that's a good effective system that's working well.
Tyron Smith. Already on edge, Frank Endicott. Good confident start from the Warriors.
That's 3, run it on.
Kearney.
All the way here, Toby. You're covered 11. Hold, Jake. 11. I'm calling you.
Simpkins suggesting that he warned them long enough. Jones quickly with a restart to take them out to the 50 and an extra quick play the ball. Logan Swan. Enormous pace to the game already. Banganar. You're looking for support, Joe.
This is
Thought
great
better
defence.
of it.
Great defence though from Newcastle. They're just waiting, moving up slowly in a line.
Tongia, a handful right from the start. Hoppy. Taken by Craigie. Eru. Craigie's offside, had to stay out of the play, and he sneaks inside the 20, but it's down to the last tackle. Namu, Kearney, big numbers. The Knights trying to slide across in a hurry. Nigel Vanganar out the back. Ridge. Quick handball for Stacey Jones in behind the line. Craigie will have to hurry. Gets there confidently. Brilliant ball up for O'Davis. Smart play.
That's great play there from the Knights. That's one of the reasons they won the ARL competition last year. Really showing their experience and composure.
Richards. Harrigan goes to the bench as Lee Jackson goes down that side. They keep on hammering that same side in defence. Butterfield. Back they go again to that left-hand side of the Warriors. One more tackle. Had to come. They were all offside, and he was having plenty to say to them. They're trying to get something started. The Warriors have the penalties just.
Gary, with this big atmosphere here, must be difficult for the players to hear down at ground level.
It certainly is difficult to hear down here myself, but I tell you what, beside me is big Chief Harrigan as Glenn Griefko and takes the ball forward. But he's down here, he's puffing and panting, so is Butterfield, mate. So the game is played at 100 mile an hour, but this heat, I think early in the day, oh, Big Joe just given one, Quinn and Ponga, I should say, it's just taking their toll on the big fellas.
Still exceptionally hot. Andrew Johns on the inside. Great covering tackle. And again, once again, he warns them to get to their feet with the ball.
Well, that's silly play from Newcastle. The players have been well warned what the rule is, what the referees are going to look for in that play the ball area. To give away that penalty in that field position is just a real coach killer.
Namu taking his time. Tongia, Joe Vanganar. Good spell for Brady Malem, who catches them on the hop as well. Excellent turnaround. Kearney pushed out towards the sideline. Namu. Certainly so much more to like about the Warriors' urgency than round one.
Yeah, well, they would have spoken about that all week. They've probably been under a bit of pressure back there in Auckland. And they want to try and turn the tables. Very difficult for them tonight, but they certainly look to be on track at this stage of the game.
Good quick hands from Namu on Logan Swan. Malem to Tupu with a good ball away. Kevin Iro trying to create a little bit of room. Does that easily. So they've got problems around the forwards with Pongia and Joe Bunganaro, and got problems out wide with Kevin Iro. Kick in behind the line, easily tidied up by Mark Hughes. Again, still not happy with that play of the ball area. Stacey Jones picked off.
Well, there's no excuse for the players giving those penalties away.
Jackson. Pinchinelli out there from the bench for the Knights.
Now look at me, 15.
O'Davis up in the line to try and lift this side. Heavy defense again. Standing, looking at each other, the Knights. Just on the back foot.
That's four. All the way on, all the way.
Matthew Johns for Pinchinelli. Goes back to support him. Still staying alive. Richards looking back inside for Matthew Johns, but the defence holds its line. One more tackle as Andrew Johns rushes across. Looking nice and wide to send it out against Hoppy. Craigie there to climb. Now Craigie took him out without a doubt. He put the shoulder in. Penalty should have come. Ball had not arrived and Hoppy was knocked out of the way. This hopefully is what the touch judge is on about.
Well, it just seems strange the touch judge is coming from the other side of the field when it happened 2 metres in front of the one on this side.
Well, no, this looks as though it's going to go against the Warriors. Now he's going to send them all the way back across to the other side. Tyron Smith, the man to be called out.
First point of contact was the head of the Newcastle player.
Try and have a listen to this one.
He just called it to me. I told him we'll get him later. We've played the advantage. It's been done. Any more, you know where you're going to go. All right, keep him right down.
High tackle against Tyron Smith. Lee Jackson wants to get on with it. Harrigan's back out there. Now the crowd comes to life. Now they find their voice. Matthew Johns allowed to travel right across the line. Craigie just 5 metres away, the Knights. Matthew Johns, long ball out for Andrew. Numbers, huge numbers, they must get across. Matthew Gidley in the end, that put it down to the Johns boys, who got it out there in a hurry and took out plenty out of the line.
Well, we can see here a great piece of play. Good wide passing straight across the Warriors' defence. The ball held out in front. Gidley carrying on his good game from North last week. It was a fine try, well executed.
Matthew Gidley. Normally, as a 5'8" backup to any of the Johns. Terrific stuff, Gary Freeman.
Oh, it's certainly great stuff, but the big thing about this play here is Matthew Johns going to the line. Andrew Johns, I should say. Matthew Gidley, I think, nearly had stuffed it right up there because he should have tossed it to his winger. Just watch the ball now. Watch Andrew Johns. Matthew lets the long one go. Andrew, he goes forward with a slide defence, holds him up. Nice ball out wide there. That's when the pass should have been passed, but he took the ball back inside. This is the start of it all. Good, that's a high tackle. Well, I don't know too much about that.
Didn't look to be much in it.
Well, I don't think there was anything in it, but you got to go back to the hooker and tapping the ball and getting on with the game quickly.
Andrew Johns. 60% so far this season. 3 from 5 against Norths. Johns right down the middle. Back they come, the Knights. At home, setting up a roar at 6-4. Namu back for the Warriors with this restart. It's been a terrific game so far.
It certainly has, Graham. And while Gidley scored that try, and obviously the Johns played a major role in it, I think that you've got to put that try down to the coaching staff. I think they've pinpointed the left-hand defence of the Warriors, and that's where they've been attacking. That's where they have scored their first try.
Pinchinelli.
But in saying that, Gary, I believe that the Knights' defence on the left-hand side is pretty open itself. Well, that short blind, gee, it's just begging to be taken.
Well, it certainly is. If they get the ball out to Kevin Ira, he's going to make big inroads down there as Jackson goes for a bit of a scamper now, but I think you picked it in one, Lowy. Oh, he's
Craigie gets away. Ridge has to rush up. Back out to the 50. Jackson knows that they were all rushing to get back in the line. Picks off an easy 10. Andrew Johns. Now the Knights getting there in support. In behind the line. Hughes! They're going to check upstairs if he was onside and if he also grounded it. There's going to be a wait, but this is brilliant play.
Absolutely outstanding play. I mean, you will not see any better skills than this. They'd stacked up on that right-hand side of attack again. Pretty weak defence here. The ball was flicked back, but have a look at this clever little kick. Very, very smart. A hook kick, and have a look at the winger, what he had to do. Plenty of work there. He had to come around. Reggie tried to kick the ball.
Interesting one here. You got to watch and see whether he does ground it in behind the line and whether he was still in control as it went across to the in goal. But great skills, Gary.
Yeah, certainly from Peter Shields here. Drops the ball back in there to Andrew Johns. Again, off the right foot, just puts the old banana kick. I don't think he actually scores this try, Graham. Just watch it here nice and closely. He's dropped that ball, I reckon.
Well, it looked as though he grounded it short of the line, and his body just took it to the in goal. Interesting one coming up for the man upstairs. It's grounded short of the line.
No try, mate, no try. Oh, put me house on it.
That's some house, I believe, as well.
Just a bit smaller than Lowy's.
They want another look. Simpkins awaits. About 30,000 here at Marathon all round. Hanging on this one. Ball was grounded short of the line. Judge for yourself the popularity of this call.
Well, I get to keep my house on. Very happy about that one, Graham.
Well, while it was awarded a no try, there were still danger signs for the Auckland Warriors there down that left-hand side of the defence, because that came far too easy.
Hoppy fights with them. They survived this one. Now they've got to come back strong themselves. To Tupu.
All the way back.
Penalty comes their way. That will certainly help things. Harrigan.
All right. Well, they're going up too
Certainly
quickly.
wanting to argue the point. Another look at it to
A
see.
couple of steps in front of me, all right?
He's calling for them, waving at them to come back.
Well, they had no argument. They were way up in front of him. End of story.
It's his first.
Vangana.
Let him up. Back away from him. Hold it there.
Eru staying on a very short blind for Pongia, who may run out of territory. It was a dangerous call.
Well, it was a bit of a dangerous call, but I think the opportunity was down on that right-hand side for them to have a go. Didn't quite come off, but I mean, you've got to take the initiative now and then, and they were prepared to do it.
Good defence, swarming defence coming in. Craigie, the first man up there. Billy Teeden to help him in the end.
Yeah, there was numbers all over the place here. I think they should have gone one more back in the left, but tell you what, Quinton's not too happy about something that Owen Craigie did, and did give him a mouthful after that tackle.
Jason Moody loses it. Namu went in search of it. Ball always travelled back, said the referee. Tough game up for the ARL champs as Fletcher brings it away. Another penalty. Trying to keep these two sides apart who really have been hammering away in defence. Now it's Ridge's turn to have something to say.
Well, plenty in the media about questioning the referee. Gary, you were expert at it. In fact, you never shut up. What do you think of what's been going on?
Mate, I learned a lot off you, Lover. You taught me everything I know. But I tell you what, Matthew Ridge doing a great thing. The newest side was in a bit of trouble, and he just got up there quickly, stopped the referee, stopped the Newcastle side, getting a quick set of six in.
Jeff Tuvey's tutor, Gary Freeman, sideline tonight.
No chance.
Harrigan, one-hander back. Andrew Johns with a quick switch to Brother Matthew. Left alone, nearly snuck away. Kearney, there in cover. Butterfield fumbled, took control of the ball. Peter Shields tried to get a pass away, and the Warriors come up with the dregs.
Well, it was a pretty ordinary pass from Peter Shields, but normally he does get the ball away well. He's a big, tall man, skillful, can offload the ball all the time. But that was a shocker.
Pongia. Wonderful clash between the front row. Namu. Handling mistakes against the Knights. The Warriors push this back to the infield. Now the Knights scoop it up. Mentioned about the control of the ball against South being so costly. Some errors sneaking in the last couple of minutes.
Well, I think the thing is, if they do have an error, they've got to cover it up quickly. That's the key.
Pinchinelli. Oh, swinging arm over the top from Shane Endicott.
Shane needs to be careful. He was getting a bit hot against South Sydney late in the game. He's going to have to be careful, particularly with the chief out there. He'll get a little bit more than he's bargained for.
The Johns boys on song.
Let him go, Six, let him go. All the way, come on, run on.
And still for Andrew, who was very wide from that play of the ball. Shields. This time the ball was a good one out the back. O'Davis. Chance here with numbers if they get it right. They went back to the infield.
Forward out, let him up.
Good defence from Pongia again. Andrew Johns with O'Davis if he wants him. Moody in behind Hoppy, and Hoppy does the save.
Well, great play from the Knights. They've got the result. Didn't get a try, but they're going to get the ball back. That's the second best thing. Well-weighted kick here with plenty of pressure behind it. But the Warriors have come up with some good inside defence. They're working very, very hard and effective. Pongia, he's all over the park.
He certainly is all over the park. He's having a great game as Quinton. But the best thing about there, Andrew Johns going to the line, bringing the defence of the Warriors back up. Hoppy did a good job in covering up because there was a lot of pressure and he was a lot forward. Then he had to go back again.
Safe as a bank, Sean Hoppy. Now, I think the question mark is over Kearney, who might have to go to the blood bin.
Gary, against these Johns boys, you really have to keep your line back and just let them play their game, do what they're going to do, and just watch them. If you rush up at them, that's what they're actually trying to tempt you to do, isn't it?
They certainly are. Once you rush up at them, someone will come out of the line, they'll pop a little pass or run the ball, and then you'll be under all sorts of pressure. The best thing tonight, I think, the Warriors' defence, great stuff, Quinton Ponga, holding their line and taking the man ball and all. What a tackle.
Heavy shot from Pongia. And Fletcher is in a whole heap of trouble as O'Davis stays up in the line. Big set of 6 tackles this one. Jackson straight ahead. Ridge will have to hurry. He was caught on the other side. And he just forces it. They'll get it back again, though. Brilliantly weighted.
It was well weighted, but it was well chased from Ridgie. He had to because he was playing flat up there. Good little kick here from Lee Jackson. He's a fine, experienced player. A lot more confident now than what he was when he first came out to Australia. This could have been trouble for the Warriors.
sponsored by Charles Garcelis for Red Deer and final.
So once again, they take their time.
The last tackle you saw that Quinton Ponga put on Fletcher, he's decided that he'll retire to the bench. He's been replaced by Wayne Richards.
Come up with some huge tackles, Ponga.
Give it here.
Another look at it, the shoulder charge right over the top. Well, danger is that one's getting a little bit above.
That's one. Here we are.
Got to be careful. Butterfield. Ponga again. Andrew Johns very wide again to that same side of the Warriors' defence. Gidley. Starting to build, starting to get into a real flow. Harrigan from miles back. 10 metres away. The Johns brothers looking for runners. They'll find Shields. Tall man who was well taken high and low. Richards for Matthew John. Easily on the inside for Butterfield. Taken ball and all by Logan Swan. Rushed up at him. One more tackle. Andrew Johns again. O'Davis knocked on the inside. They keep on hammering away at the one spot.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job of it. They're crashing as often as possible down the left-hand side, drawing the defence over there like flies. Then big wide passes out to the right, and it's working for them well.
Odin Ryan, there was nobody at home at fullback. If he could have broke that tackle, they would not have caught him. Eru.
3, let him go.
Fights all the way past the 40. Jones for Tyron Smith.
Play with your foot.
Knights coming up with the most breaks so far in this first 40.
That shows how good the Warriors' defence has been, particularly from the inside out.
Joe Vangana for Namu. Kiki trying to weight it in reply down towards the in goal. Moody has it. Jones won't be able to match it. Logan Swan can't get there. And that's a big play to bring it back midfield to the 30.
That's a great play. He used his pace, he used it well, he backed himself. He's really taken the pressure off his Knights teammates. Warriors have got to really get reorganised in a hurry.
Jackson nearly floated that one forward. Tough from the outset, little in this. Richards. Shields. Hoppy has to turn. Has plenty of time. And does well to straighten. Stay alive with it. Tiarapati. Good driving tackle from Pinchinelli. Shane Endicott. Quick call out. Tried to spread it, couldn't get there, or couldn't get the ball there quickly enough. Quinton Ponga, non-stop.
All the way back. Hold. That's it.
Namu. Logan Swan. Andrew Johns finishing him off. Looked a little bit late. Ridge. Off the knees of O'Davis. This is about where the heat might start to take its toll after a huge opening to this game.
Well, it might, and that's where I'd like to see Stacey Jones take more of a authoritarian role in this Warriors attack. Just go to the line himself a little bit more, get a little bit more involved, start stepping some of these big Knights forwards, because they are starting to get tired.
Mark Hughes. Just 15 away as the Knights build once more. John's boys have been everywhere, and they are again. Shields staying very wide. Dummies back for Craigie, over the top. Moody puts it down. Let off for the Warriors. They hang on.
The impressive thing about the Knights at the moment is their hole running. They're really running straight and hard at the gaps. They're drawing 2 defenders every time, and that's a sign of a good attacking team.
Comes in for the scrum.
No doubt the Warriors have not been used to this. As I mentioned today in Newcastle, around 38 degrees. Still exceptionally hot tonight. 6-4 the Knights. This one to pack just 10 metres away. Inside the last 10. Can't really blame anybody after the start to this one, Gary, to see some people walking.
Walking, mate. I'll tell you what, they were glad to see that scrum. The penalty goes to the Warriors there for another double tackle on Tero Party. But I tell you what, the bench here of the Newcastle Knights, I'm very, very close to, mate, they are very tired.
Don't say that out loudly, Gary.
No, did you notice how I said that? Even though I picked them, I've got to say it quietly.
Malem. Steve Lanane, the coach, standing in tonight for Malcolm Reilly. Tero Party. Namu finally set it up for Malem. Tyron Smith. Not sure what Simpkins has seen.
Same one as got him. No, go away, go away. That's the first one that got him. All right, same as his penalty.
Just a warning to stay down. Again creeping up too high against Tyron Smith, Jackson and Butterfield. I think Smith asked the question.
It's really nice there that Tony Butterfield decided he would apologise to Tyron Smith for going up around his cheeks. It's quite nice to see from the players nowadays.
As if he meant it. Namu puts this one out over the sideline. Malem. Great chance for the Warriors. Haven't been down here with this sort of opportunity for quite a while. Inside the 20. Logan Swan hitting back, turning it, trying to find Tero Party. Jones yet to take off himself. Kevin Iro's been a handful. Tries to knock it back on the inside. Touched by the Knights. The Warriors will have the scrum feed.
Good piece of attacking play, though, from the Warriors. Kevin Iro looking very dangerous down the right-hand side of the park.
Touch judge got it right. And the Warriors a real threat after this scrum to pack. Kevin Iro trying to keep it alive on the inside. Tapped down by Owen Craigie.
I think Kevin was looking for his winger to come in a little bit quicker, but Sean Hoppy didn't quite read Kevin's message.
Big blindside. If they want to use it, they stay open. Kevin Iro again. Hops out of one. Sets it up. Rapati had stayed a little bit flat instead of getting to the outside. Back they come once more and quickly. Stacey Jones. Jones to the inside for Kearney. Excellent defence as they rush up the Knights. Tyron Smith. Just 5 away for Eru. Loves to back himself from there. Jones quickly. Huge numbers to the corner ridge. Kevin Iro, they fumble it. Chance gone. Incredible chance gone.
Certainly was a big chance gone. They had plenty of numbers there. In fact, they probably had too many numbers. Someone had to straighten up the attack. Kevin Iro was basically on Ridge's shoulder.
Yeah, and Stacey Jones has seen it out nice and wide off to Namu. Ridgie just there. I think we could have probably, like you said, missed someone out because they were sliding, and Kevin Iro just couldn't handle that ball. Tero Party thought he'd scored the try.
Both sides digging deep close to their own lines. Been some enormous saves in this. Down inside the last 5 of a tough first 40.
2. Here it is here.
Pinchinelli.
3. Back we come.
Incredible the dominance as Lanane watches the Knights. Of these boys, the Johns boys, the dominance of this team, the way they handle it.
Well, they're a class act without any doubt whatsoever. Handling errors still against the Knights there, but they are trying things.
And they try it again as Craigie nearly gets away.
Gary, I'd like to see Stacey Jones just take that line on a little bit more, particularly in the attacking zone.
Well, he needs to take the line on, but I tell you what, the other thing, Lowy, they've got to be in the other end of the field for him to take the attack to them.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, when we just had them down in the Knights 20 metres, a lot of forwards involved in that play.
Oh, well, 1 minute we want him to take it on, next week we want him to pass the ball as the kick's put in there, it goes over the dead ball, but I think the Warrior side is playing like a team tonight. They're playing for each other. Their defence is great. They're attacking when they have to be. I tell you what, their ball control's been 100 times better rather than last week.
Kearney.
I agree with you, Gary. They are playing very, very well, but they've got to be able to come up with that extra spark to break the defence. That's the key.
Back it comes, Malem. Warriors against one of the favourites for the title in '98. Smith. Just short of the 50. Logan Swan looking back on the inside for Jones. Maybe now he can find a gap. Last tackle. Got a push as he played it. Ridge looking for the in goal. O'Davis knows he has to get there quickly. Back on the inside, and Kevin Iro finishes him off. Moody. Players from both sides really trying to just edge their way towards this half-time break. Great run from Glenn Grief. Matthew Johns and Richards. Peden. They go across to 50. Gidley. Called the plat, then thrown to ground. Last tackle. Tongia, miles offside he was. Ridge hurrying, and on the run it's a good take. Tongia lucky to get away with that one.
He was, but it was a great take from Matthew Ridge. Had a lot of ground to cover. Just gives his side so much confidence when he comes up with those sort of plays.
Pompey. Kearney pushes the pass for Kevin Iro. Into the last 60 seconds. Warriors just needing to keep it nice and tidy. Malem, willing worker to take it right up the middle. Last tackle. Good kick and chase required. Namu kicking for Odenrine, off the knees, a bit of a fumble. Luckily falls for O'Davis. Could have gone anywhere. Hughes will finish with it. Not before he got monstered by Logan Swan. Terrific first 40. Warriors needing to hit back after the disappointment of last weekend against Souths. They're taking on the defending premiers, the Newcastle Knights at home. Just the two in it, 6-4. Their way to 6-4 at half-time.
Yeah, well, it's just an arm wrestle. The Warriors, I think, have really put it to them well. I think they just lacked a little bit when they're in that attacking zone. Maybe Frank Endicott might talk about that at half-time, but they're looking great.
Well, it was the Warriors who set it up so nicely and really shocked them early with a try to Hoppy.
It was a great try to Hoppy, but you can put it down to Kevin Iro. Kevin really menacing, like he's an absolute giant. He's on his game out there tonight. Got the ball over well, and Hoppy just had to drop over the line.
Didn't have to travel anywhere at all, but then the Johns boys really started to get things on song.
Well, they are maestros. I mean, I think a lot of sides can beat Newcastle, but it's a matter of beating the Johns boys. That's the key.
Well, the defence seemingly has tried to stay off them, but on this occasion, maybe Namu hanging off too long out wide.
Yeah, well, they just waited to see what was going to happen, and I think that's what you need to do for a lot of the game, but a little bit too long at that stage.
Well, Gary Freeman, been a terrific effort from the Warriors.
Sensational effort from the Warriors, mate. And I'd say that the control of the ball from last week's game, this game, it is not comparable, mate. They go forward with Quinton Pongia there. And I'll tell you the other big aspect of this game is Matthew Ridge, the fullback, just telling his players where to go in defence, hold the line, hold the line. Let the Johns boys play with the ball as much as they want. Don't go out of the line and don't try and hit them. But I tell you what, the Knights, they aren't going forward and they aren't helping themselves out. I know they've scored out wide once, but I tell you what, they are struggling here tonight.
Terrific second half coming up. And it is the Knights at half-time, just in front, 6-4.
Well, there's a big chance there for the Warriors to silence a few of the Australian critics who have been writing off their chances in 1998. They're looking pretty good at half-time. 6-4. It's going to be a top 40 minutes of action coming up right after the break here on Sky Sport.
Certainly is a bit of a question mark on the fans here at Marathon Stadium. The Warriors outstanding in the first 40 against one of the best clubs in the game. Some tired sides down there. Very humid night. Nice and hot. Singlet weather.
Yeah, there certainly is. I think the players should have deserved a swim at half-time, not an orange.
Fantastic full house. They talk about the game bouncing back in 1998. Not a problem for the fans here in Newcastle. Wonderful scenes. Tough one. The Knights back for the second 40. They know they've got some problems. The Warriors really putting it to them. Harrigan showing some signs of wear and tear after a really hard first 40. Mind you, it's for the same for both. Can they hit the line strongly at the end of this one? The heat's really got to come into it.
Oh, it certainly does. It affects your thinking as well. I mean, these players are under enormous fatigue. And, that's when it's really difficult to think under pressure.
6-4 with 40 remaining. First chance for the locals to look at their heroes from last year. Massive numbers they've turned out in. Paul Simpkins. Our first look at him in the top grade, and he has been tough on the play the ball area, but consistent.
Right, stay on side. Keep on side.
Just the 2 points in it. The Warriors trying to find the line. They struggled against South late in the game. But this performance so far, full of character. Pongia was the man that really got it off with a flying start. He hurt the Knights in defence.
Well, I think Pongia was the best forward on the field in that first half. He was carting the ball up strongly, offloading and tackling with venom.
Odenryan trying to edge away. Injured in the tackle. Jones. Difficult ball, well taken under pressure by Kearney. Jones again on the inside for Kevin Iro. Climbed out of any number of tackles so far in this game. Paul Harrigan can't put him down. Last tackle. Ridge trying to get it away from Robbie O'Davis, sends it out to the wing of Mark Hughes, who leaves it alone. Fine start to the second half.
Great start, controlled start, professional start from the Warriors to the second half, and Ridgey's really working overtime.
Was given plenty of room, took his time and really found the mark. Just his steadiness at the back, so important to the side. Andrew Johns.
This game hasn't opened up at all, I don't think, Graham. It's still very much an arm wrestle, and while it's like that, it probably suits the Knights. A little bit more experience. I feel if it does open up, we're really playing to the Warriors' hands. They've got great counter-attack measures.
Punishing defence on the inside. Pongia there again. Harrigan takes it to the other side. Taken down low by Namu. Assistance from Kearney.
Hand in the ruck. Get your hand on the ball.
And Kearney just trying to upset the play of the ball with a hand in there. Picked off by Simpkins. Pushed it out of the hands of Harrigan. Jackson with the tap restart. They go wide on the opening tackle. Shields on a run around with Matthew Johns, and Gidley excellent on his feet.
That's one. Here we are.
One of the most interesting classes of the night out wide in the centres. Butterfield. He's going to finish his career in England this season. Decided to stay on for one more. Johns. Well taken by Peden.
That's two. Running up.
No one going ahead for the Knights at this stage. They're just trying to go around them on the outside. Not working for them.
Shields takes it to the line, and Kevin Iro with a big tackle. Lost the ball. Big play from Kevin Iro. Hoppy just getting away from the 20. Likewise.
I said last week, Graham, that Kevin Iro only plays two ways. And I think out there tonight, he's playing sensational.
Joe Vangana took a high tackle. Butterfield certainly gave him the treatment.
That's one. Newcastle, run it on, run it on. Hold with me. That's it.
Namu, under some pressure, has to shuffle it out to Ridge, who had a bit more time. Back they come to midfield.
So held one there. All the way back.
O'Davis looking to try and really test the selectors out this year as far as fullback position for all the rep teams are concerned. Now the penalty comes. And again, the Warriors just creeping up inside the 10. Ridge to ask the question.
No. I'm calling him on the 10 metres, all right? He's standing in front of me instead of behind me. He's going to get penalised. That's enough.
Can't win the argument.
Oh, I don't know what the argument was about. They were around about a metre to 2 metres in front of the referee. I don't know what he even asked the question for. Even I wouldn't have gone up there.
Not sure about that. Butterfield stands. Great tackle again. Nigel Vangana. Harrigan on the inside. Finished off easily.
Don't lift, two.
Andrew Johns. Back on the inside, cleverly for Pede, and nearly got him behind the line. Now there's danger signs as they try to pick up the pace from this. Matthew Johns, dummies inside, second time to O'Davis, and O'Davis slips Ridge. They really did pick up a gear. Sharp performance. Plenty of decoy runners, they couldn't get there.
Well, great play from the Knights. I mean, in the attacking zone, they've got the options going. That was the thing. Great play there. A lot of missed tackles.
Yeah, once again, it's the Johns boys getting together. Matthew Johns just sliding across. A player went in there, held them up. Quinton Poggio, I thought, would have had the tackle the same as Reggie. They've just come up with an absolute mistake. You won't see them make that mistake again for the rest of the year.
Well, I think Reggie's a very, very lucky boy here if he doesn't get reported. He put his foot out here. This was a trip coming up, or an attempted trip. Silly play from Matthew Ridge, that. He's not going to get away with it if he tries that too often.
Well, he won't get away with it now that you mentioned it anyway, Lowy.
O'Davis. And Ridge has been called out after a report. So a warning as Andrew Johns looks to add 2 more. Now it's a real test. The Knights into gear, got to be pegged back pretty quick at the Marathon Stadium, 12-4. The Warriors got the early start on this game. They rattled the Knights. It's been tight and tough. Now they threaten to edge away, and the Warriors needing to bounce back immediately themselves as they find it. A game of counter-attack.
Well, if it does go into a game of counter-attack, I think that will suit the Warriors, but I believe the Warriors have played pretty good out there tonight. They've just let themselves down in that attacking zone. Mind you, can't take anything away from the Knights' defence, I suppose, because they seem to have the measure of anything the Warriors try, but that's certainly the difference between the two sides.
Quick change, Tyron Smith's come off and Tony Tatapu's gone on.
Jackson allowed to run for a long time. Again, defence from Kevin Iro, assistance from Logan Swan, can't get him down. Finally they do. Referee screaming at the Warriors to get behind him. Matthew Johns, he travelled for a long distance before anybody touched him. Andrew Johns thinks early days about a field goal. Sweet! Absolute sweet! You want to talk about quick thinking? And he enjoyed it.
Well, Graham, I don't want to harp on the point, but this only comes to 1 point. But the thing is, when they get down in that attacking zone, they're getting a result. A try, a field goal, kick it into the end goal, get the ball back. He wants to put on more pressure now, Johns. That was outstanding thinking, Gary.
Yeah, it was great thinking, and didn't he love that kick when he was coming back? He had the big wide smirk on his face there, and he was very happy with the 1 point. The Warriors side, when they knew he was going to kick, they just held their line, which was the correct thing to do. I don't think anyone could have stopped that.
Namu underway again. Single field goal that makes life just that little bit tougher for the Warriors. Butterfield.
That's one, square up.
Tails up, crowd at nearly 25,000 here at Marathon.
Two, let him go, let him go.
Shields. Just the danger signs now that they're allowing them to travel.
Well, everyone's getting a little tired out there, but the Knights don't appear to be quite as tired because they're in front. That's always the case.
Good ball away from Harrigan under pressure from the tackle from Vagana and Pongia. Richards right up the middle. Pongia went looking again. He's trying to shorten them up. Johns kicking. Open spaces to the in goal. Hoppy. Ridge is back there, won't have much support. Shane Endicott hurries. Andrew Johns flies at him, nails him.
Shane Endicott had nowhere to go. He was just back there on his own at that stage.
Odin Ryan takes a high one around the throat.
You've got him there, all right? We've got him there.
And Shields, the man, Warren.
And like the man was going down the tackle, where is he supposed to tackle him? Honestly, the referee even said, you know, there was an accident. Let's just play on with the game.
Well, they'll take the penalty and take it out to the 30. Joe Vagana. Pongia.
Well, he's having a whale of a game out there, Quinton Ponga. He's really taking it to the Knights, trying to inspire the Warriors. That's what he's trying to do.
Tutupu can cause some damage out wide. Namu shaped as though he was going to kick. Tried to get Nigel Vagana out of the outside of his man. Endicott. Jones. Kearney. Everybody standing still.
Well, you've got to say it's great defence, though. It's outstanding defence from the Knights at this stage.
Off the feet. Can they keep it in play? Didn't play at it. So it should still be a Knights feed.
Newcastle feed.
That's the man, though, who really has to take off now, Stacey Jones.
Well, I'm a great admirer of Stacey Jones. I think he's a fantastic little player. And I suppose this isn't really a criticism of him, but in this type of game, he has got to take it by the hook. He's got to really take charge. I mean, if you have a look at the great halfbacks playing rugby league, they are the ones that turn the game on a blink of an eye. And I think that's what Stacey's... He's only young, and it's something he's got to learn.
I think Lowy, what he's got to do is just get the ball and have a run. Just try and test the defence. He hasn't tested it once all night.
That's it in a nutshell, as though Davis goes back onto the inside.
I was just trying to say it in a flash way, Gary.
I knew what you were trying to say, but I'll just help you out.
Peden. Back they come. Grief. Well, he's thrown that forward. You can nearly call it a penalty. Simpkins will put the scrum down for a knock on.
15. Hey,
Plenty of defence coming across there. That ball was flicked forward. Like you say, could have been a penalty.
So often they take the easy way out instead of going for the penalty.
penalties go against.
What are you having to go at the refs again? You've been pretty good today.
Thought I'd just edge one in there early, round 2 only of 98. Quickly out the back for Logan Swan to stay on the blind side. Kearney hasn't been able to get in behind the line tonight, caused South plenty of problems. They hit down this short side once more. Pongia. Marathon Stadium opened up to the back line. Namu. Around. Support from Logan Swan. Ridge. Quick hands. Allowed to continue. Everybody had a look, calling for a knock on. Out for Hoppy. Craigie there in cover. Back infield. Still with the Warriors. Namu. Surely to this corner. Can they straighten? Somebody's got to straighten. Somebody had to take it to the line, drag the defence at them.
Yeah, they are letting themselves down. They really had the night stretch there, but as you said, there was no change of angle. Everyone just drifting from right to left. It does make it too easy to pick up, and also makes the passing and catching that little bit more difficult, because invariably the pass lands on the receiver's shoulder.
Pick it up, pick it up.
Number of times they've had them stretched. Haven't been able to finish them off. Still inside their own 20, the Knights. 13-4, Newcastle. Pinchinelli from the bench. Been non-stop tonight in this heat. Matthew Johns.
That's 4. Have a look at me.
Jackson picked up plenty of territory from dummy half tonight.
Run it on, 12.
Andrew Johns. Turning around Odin Ryan. Goes to the midfield to try and find a gap.
That's 1.
None
All the
there.
way here, all the way back.
Namu. Hoppy. Kevin Iroh's been a danger. Hasn't got much clean ball in the second 40 yet. Tongia back to the bench.
Well, Frank Endicott's really forced to use his bench a lot, because the players are really feeling the heat and the pressure out there tonight. He's giving them all as much of a spell as possible.
Now, blood bin for Pinchinelli. So it will go back for Kearney for the restart. So Harrigan is forced to come back out for the Knights. Didn't enjoy much of a spell.
Have a look at me. Tackle 4.
Ridge. Long chase back for O'Davis. Fine kick. Now for the chase. One of the toughest men to try and keep down inside his own danger zone.
And he just explodes into the gap. That's what he does. He's got the speed to back it up.
Cannot afford to let them out of here easily. Butterfield. Now for Harrigan. Just confidently, methodically, they work back out down to Warriors territory. Now to the in goal for Ridge to hurry. It'll beat them all out over the sideline.
Basic fundamental play though from the Knights. They're not trying anything too fancy. Just running from dummy half a lot. Always drawing in 2 or 3 defenders. This was good offload there from Pinchinelli. This kick had plenty of pressure behind it, and it's found touch right in the corner. Good solid play from the Knights.
Well, they're playing very, very well now, playing with a lot of more confidence. But I'll tell you one thing they haven't done so far is got over top of the Warriors forward pack. I think they've held their own. It's just a couple of times that when they need to go wide, they're dropping the ball when they don't need to. So they just fix up that little area. I think they played very well tonight.
Might come down, as Lowy said earlier tonight about the battle of the halves, though. They've got to start to win that one there, Gaz.
Yeah, they have. And this man here has got the ball just the way to Sean Hoppy then. Kevin Iro's probably had one of his best games too, I think. But the halves, they've got to start running with the ball.
Exactly. Now for Eru to duck. Jones. Still for Kearney. Thought about pushing it back to Namu. Ridge looking for the short ball up to Nigel Vangana. Had nowhere to go. Just one more tackle. Namu down to the corner area. Well placed. Odenryan needs some support. They need to rush down there.
Well, that's a good chase. That it was a good kick from Gene Namu, well weighted. Good chase behind it, and they formed their defensive line well. They've now got to try and force that error. That's been the difficult thing for them to do tonight because the Knights have hung onto the ball very, very well.
Gidley to get away. Tyron Smith needs to, and he did, force him towards the sideline. But an extra quick play of the ball with the Warriors in trouble. Harrigan needs to shift. Took his time, it was too late. They had a chance with some numbers. Maybe still. O'Davis on the inside. Andrew Johns. Great ball out. Craigie. Moody. Just 10 away and the Warriors hang on. One more tackle only. Andrew Johns had a doubt about some of those support players. He's lost it. Stacey Jones has lost it, and the Knights look as though they've come up with it. I wasn't sure whether some of those runners had edged ahead of Andrew Johns after the kick. This one won't tell us about whether they were behind or not, but Jones had it here and just lost it. That's a try at the moment. Touch judges all called it okay as far as the support runners were concerned. Just came up empty.
Yeah, it was a shame that. Shame that try. Just knocked out of Stacey Jones' hands.
I think that tells you a fair story here at Marathon as this place erupts. Still got a question mark about whether they were behind the kick.
Yeah, Stacey just a little bit unfortunate. I think the runners were onside, and he got the ball in one hand, and it just gets knocked out accidentally just there. Owen Craigie comes up with a try, and I tell you what, they were under a lot of pressure here, the Warriors, but I thought they'd done a pretty good job so far. It was just unlucky for Stacey Jones.
It is unlucky. Now, a lot of pressure, I think, on Matthew Ridge to get hold of Stacey and get this incident put out of his mind and just try and get on with it. Only a young player, these things happen.
Sort of incident that will break your back.
But it's the sort of incident a good side always comes up with during a game. These are the sort of reasons they won the premiership last year, because they just forced those sort of errors.
Andrew Johns had it on a string tonight, had it on a string last weekend against Norths. Miles of time over this one. He'll edge it inside. The Knights now, plenty of breathing space at 19-4.
4 here at Marathon Stadium. Jerry John, sponsored by the Northumberland Hotel.
So, we're enjoying one hell of a party in Newcastle in September. They're not having a bad night out at the moment.
No, plenty for their fans to be happy about. Their team's playing great football. Oh. When things go bad, they go real bad.
It shouldn't happen, just shouldn't happen, those sorts of errors.
I think what you'll see now is Newcastle will throw the ball around a lot more. The Johns boys, they will just throw them from all over the place.
By a long, long way. Matthew Johns, huge chance set up around Marathon now. Shields. Warriors really shattered by those two mistakes back to back. Desperate stakes with a long time still left in this game. Davis. Grief just reaches out. They are in top gear.
Well, they're not in top gear, they're in cruise control here. They know exactly what one another are going to do. They back up. The call came firstly to the right, then to the left. They backed themselves here. Grief just turned into a bulldozer, straight over some feeble defence. Great try, Gary.
Yeah, it's a very good try, but these guys here, the Johns boys, watch this pass here, out the back. No one's coming up on the line. I know you've got to hold your line, but watch Grief. He just goes like this, bang, get that into here. And he goes straight over the top of, I think it was Gene Namu.
No, Davis just gave him plenty of time, plenty of room, and straight through Namu. Iro couldn't hang on, and Logan Swan couldn't get there in time. 4 left behind him, and Glenn Grief from the bench gets a try to set him alight at Marathon.
Well, one thing that is going to come from this game, Gary and Hughesy, is they know now the benchmark of what they've got to play to. These are the sort of sides you've got to beat to be contenders.
Well, they are the sort of side you've got to contend with. I just think that the halves, they've just got to do more. They really have. Like Stacey and Gene have got to take control of this game with their kicking game and organising their forwards, mate. I think that's where they've let themselves down tonight.
Johns from 10 metres in. Stretched it by a couple of more. Won't bring this one back. Tries are starting to add up at 23-4.
The Supercross table will have coaches going to Wollongong next weekend. Supercross coaches of luxury coach fees available for $20. Support the Newcastle Impulse March in Wollongong next Saturday. Ring Supercross on 49
Namu
1888.
And company really have to just cut loose now. Nothing to lose. And still with plenty of time left on the clock.
Well, they've just got to throw the ball anywhere, play touch-type football and attack. That's all they've got to do, draw and pass. Just chance their arm.
Impressive start to the new season from the ARL Premiers.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I've got to be honest, I didn't rate them too highly at the start of the year, but watching them play against North Sydney last week and against the Warriors out here tonight, I mean, they've got everything going for them that a champion football team needs.
Andrew Johns.
I'd keep those Johns boys wrapped in cotton wool, though. They are absolute sensational players.
Just create so much time for themselves and teammates.
And when you look at the Australian side, they're probably not first choice players at halfback and 5'8".
Matthew Johns, clever kick for Craigie to climb up high. Brilliant stuff. Jackson pins his ears back, sits it up. Is it okay for Mooney? He'll just reach out. Stunning try. Immaculate class all over this one. What a great touch from Matthew Johns. What about the skills from Craigie? What a finish.
Well, they've got the look and the smell of champions about them. Just have a look at this. Great skills all across the park. Every one of them is able to do something. This was wonderful work here, taking a high ball under pressure, popping it back up again to Lee Jackson, who's really having a confident game. He just bashed the ball out the back because he knew he had plenty of time. After that, it was shut the gate and rub your nose in it.
Well, that's one way of putting it, Lowy, but Matthew Johns, as you already said, the little chip and chase. Matthew Ridge did the right thing here. He went the ball, made the tackle. But Craigie, great stuff from the young kid. He's only 20 years of age. And Jackson, I reckon he's had an outstanding game here tonight. And Moody, well, he just picks up the pieces. There's no worries at home, and that's another try to the Newcastle Knights.
From what has been a tough first 40, turning into a bit of a rout now as they enjoy all the possession but show their skills and their wares with it. Jackson thought he could have got there himself in the end, set it up nicely for Moody. Odenryan from the other wing couldn't peg him back. So Moody gets amongst the try scorers. Plenty of bullets being fired in this second 40 by the Knights. Hard to imagine. At half-time, the Knights had a real tough one on their hands. They got their hand on the throttle now, though. Newcastle at home for the first time this season, 29-4. They are having one hell of a party. Another look at it.
Well, Matthew Ridge he was in no man's land, and he couldn't do anything at all but do what he did. After that, he couldn't handle it. Well, there was nothing you could do about the skill that Jackson showed in backing up, popping that ball back, and this is rubbing your nose in it. You know, Malcolm really has done a wonderful job for this club up here, and in his time of great sorrow that him and his family have at the moment, his players have come out and done a wonderful job for him tonight.
Davis, they're not done with, they're full of running. Davis! Got to put their heads down. Still about 12 minutes remaining. Got to try and close those floodgates. This isn't going to help. They're going to go further downtown with the penalty. Heavy stuff from Pongia.
Well, the heavy stuff I don't think has let them down tonight. It's been the subtle things that have been missing. That's what's let them down. This sort of play.
Massive number of line breaks from the Knights, who have done so much more with possession.
Hands off him.
They've been changing angles and sleight of hand movements. That's what they've been doing all night, holding that defence up.
Back it comes all the way, 12.
Matthew Johns, Harrigan on the inside for Andrew Johns, almost at will. Beautiful ball over the top for Mark Hughes. They just keep on shifting. Andrew Johns with a chip and chase. Touch judge rushes in. Was he interfered with?
Say, all right.
Now Ridge wants to argue this one. Odenryan's the culprit.
Well, we can see a great play, just whizzing the ball around, changing angles everywhere. Big wide pass here. The change of angle. This is where the contention comes in. Was he interfered with? A little bit of interference there, but he's not a koala bear. He's not a protected species. I think it should have just been play on.
It should have just been play on too, Lowy. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. And for the dive from Andrew Johns, 9.5.
Matthew looking for a 10 to try and find a try. 5 metres away. They just take total control. Peden will finish up right in front of the posts. Either side for them now. John's boys together. For Pinchinelli to take it again, only 5 metres away. This crowd screaming for another try. Look how wide they get the ball off just 2 passes. Back inside for Gidley. Gidley over the top. Still for O'Davis, and he loses it. So good defence in the end to shut it down.
Well, great scrambling defence. They're nearly out on the feet, the Warriors. They've worked very, very hard against this really potent attack out there, but the change of angles, the backing one another up, the holding up of defence, that's the big key.
Just had the question there that ball was knocked down by, was it Ridge?
Yeah, I think it should have been play on.
Looked as though it should have been a very worse a scrum feed for the Knights. They survived this one though and bring it away through Rapati. And milked the penalty. Frustration showing. Incredible surge the last 10 minutes or so from the Knights. Really does beg the question, Gary. You see the performance from the Broncos in round 1 against Manly, and then you think about Newcastle against Norths, and pretty awesome tonight against the Warriors.
Yeah, they certainly, in the first half, I thought the Warriors matched them point for point and tackle for tackle, and everything they did. It's just this last probably 10 or 15 minutes so they've let themselves down with easy missed tackles, which should have been made by these professional rugby league players.
To Tupu.
I suppose it's easy for me, Graham, to say because I'm not playing anymore, so I probably missed some of those in my time when I was a player too.
Nigel Vagana to the outside. They've had a couple of real chances they should have finished off themselves. Can they find a couple late here? Kearney looking inside and out. Quick play of the ball from him, Shane Endicott. Namu for Odin Ryan. He can't keep it alive, touched and grabbed by the Knights. And a quick play of the ball. Will not take the Johns brothers long to try and spin it wide. Hughes to the midfield easily. Jackson, as he has done all night, right up the middle. Ball was stolen, says Simpkins.
Jackson coming in here, the ball was 2 in the tackle. Well stripped out. Bit of a nothing penalty at this stage of the game though.
Andrew Johns. Two to 1. Missed tackles against the Warriors tonight.
I still think though, Graham and Gary, the reason for a lot of those missed tackles is just the very, very sophisticated attack. I mean, they're really putting the defence in two minds and they're hard to contain.
Well, you can have slide defence, but you've got to take the guy with the ball, and that's something that the Warriors did let go. They started to pick off their inside runners, but then if they start falling off, they are going to find the holes.
Shields. Andrew Johns. Good 25 metres out to brother Matthew. That's forward, surely. Not picked up by any official. And it was a long way forward. Now they bring it back. To the in goal. Well taken. Great catch by Kearney.
He's another player that the Knights have done a good job on there during this match. Hasn't been given any opportunities whatsoever.
Odin Ryan. So many missed tackles has led to that big scoreline of 29 to 4. 6-4 at half time only to the Knights.
Make it back 11 out wide.
Tongia.
That's forward and make it behind me.
Eru. Jones. Rapati. Stacey Jones. Fanamu. Long weighted kick down to O'Davis, but he'll be able to bring it back a long way. There's some tired legs out there chasing this kick. And he can bring it back at his own pace. Moody. Easily up the middle as some more tackles are missed. Butterfield. Plenty left in this tank. He talks about only having one more year. Pretty powerful V8 in there somewhere.
It'll take some beating the old V8s.
Mind you, he might have to head for the pits at the moment.
Needs a new bonnet, I'll tell you that.
Harrigan, heavily put down by Kearney. And they milk it for another penalty. Inside the last 5. Quickly they restart things. Pincinelli was looking for a long time, trying to keep it alive. Richards. Strong forward pack and plenty of skill out in the back line, the Knights. Harrigan. Head down, winds himself up, climbs right through the tackle of Eru. Midfield. A little bit of John's magic maybe, trying to link with O'Davis. And still as they quickly rush back to their feet. Odin Ryan loses it, they've got one more. They're going to go upstairs. Just to check and see if Odin Ryan was tackled in mid-air.
I think this is a good call by the referee. I think he was tackled in mid-air.
See here the run around, the little kick over. Everything done right here. He looked to me like he was tackled in mid-air.
So the case should be, according to the rules, that this one should be called back. Odin Ryan taken out in mid-air, which you can't do to strip him of possession as well. Crowd won't like this. Well, the man upstairs, I've got to suggest, has got it wrong.
Well, I thought all three of us were right for a change.
Somebody's reading a different rule book to us.
Well, I mean, I think when your feet, both feet are off the ground, you call that being in the air. And that's when he got tackled.
Well, your referee called upstairs pretty clearly and said, was he tackled in flight? Well, if that's not tackled in flight, then we aren't here. But the Knights come up with another one. 5 from 6 for Johns. They have just dictated play all night long. This one from only about 5 metres in.
He's even talking to the ball.
I think he had a schooner on with the referee if he was going to get this.
Hot night made hotter by this performance from the Knights. Johns. Won't manage the extra 2, but it has been an avalanche of tries in the second 40 at 33-4.
Well, one of the difficult things the Warriors are going to have to contend with now is a little bit of criticism back in New Zealand. And, they've just got to get on with it. Like, I agree. Look, he was interfered with, tackled in mid-air. Shouldn't have been a try, but I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever to the performance of the Knights out there tonight. The Warriors have got a very tough game coming up next Friday night against Sydney City. And when you talk about Andrew and Matthew Johns, you've then got to look at Brad Fittler. Another player of equal class and capable of doing the same damage.
And the problem being Sydney City coming off a loss this weekend against North Sydney. Peden. We talked about it, Gary, as they came back from the break about could they get to the finish line strongly tonight. The heat was always still going to be a big problem for them.
Well, I think that was the major problem here tonight. They haven't fallen off many tackles. It's just a class outfit of Newcastle tonight. They've set up some great long balls, got outside their players, played those inside balls all day, and they've actually paid off for them to here tonight for Newcastle.
Their control of possession in the second 40 has been quite brilliant, Newcastle. Johns, the length of that ball so quickly out from dummy half for his brother. And the chip in behind Hoppy, who needs a good bounce, otherwise he was in trouble. Got to hand it to them the way that they Just manage this game around the park.
Management is the thing. They control everything. They do manage things very, very well. They've run the Warriors off their feet in the last 20 minutes.
Last 60 seconds, Tyron Smith. Rapati. Late change to the bench before the game. Rapati for Jerry Susu. Tongia really has tried hard. Has lost nothing in his rating against the Newcastle pack. They'll have the last shot at it. Namu for Kearney. Tap down. Well controlled by Odenrine. Back for Odenrine again. Game just about down to a walk here at the finish. Last play of the night. Endicott. Jones. Rapati. Rapati back for Endicott. Now for Joe Bunganar to spread it. Kearney. Kearney shaped the kick. Pushes it back for Ridge. Back for Odenrine. Still alive, finally put down. They came in big numbers to cheer on the local heroes. And it has been the Knights who have served up some real punishment in the second 40. They are one of the great threats this year. The Warriors go 2 weeks without a victory. The Knights 33-4.
Tonight on Sky Sports.
Oh, that's classic.
Full coverage of the Brumbies roundup of the Golden Cats.
And that is a wonderful start for the Cats.
The Brumbies versus the Golden Cats. Tonight at 10:15 on Sky Sports.
E questa è una pizza? Tintarella di luna, tintarella come latte, tutta notte sei giuggio, saprutete come i gatti, ma se c'è la luna piena, tu diventi candida.
Shapes of pizza. Flavor so big, you can see it.
Key to everything we do. We're going to innovate or we die. The emotion and passion that people feel for their industry and their company really gets to be life and death. Creative thinking is critical to the life of any business. What we've done over the 25 years that Nike's been in existence is we really created a culture where I think innovation thrives. Creative thinking. The philosophy is that you can't be afraid to make mistakes or you won't take chances. One and maybe only rule is there's no such thing as a dumb idea. Basically, taking risks is a critical part of brand leadership. We really don't like to break things to destroy them, but we really like to be a part of any kind of revolutionary thinking, and I think it's fair to say that we enjoy that.
Just check it out. The TAB Sports Cafe, every Wednesday on Sky Sport.
Well, a marathon they came to party tonight. They did it in a big way, and the Knights, after an early shock against the Warriors, really stormed home 33-4. Gidley, O'Davis, Craigie, Moody and Mark Hughes, the try scorers. Andrew Johns with 4 goals and a field goal that was important at the time. Hoppy, the early one for the Warriors, but they've been burnt pretty badly.
They have been burnt badly, and now there's a lot of pressure on them to come back, and they've got to do it.
Well, here's Andrew Johns. Sideline was Gary Freeman.
Well, Johnsy, the Warriors really did stick it to you for the first 40 minutes. Then you just sort of took over in the last 40, didn't you, boys?
I think it's just that we got a greater possession of the ball in the second half. I think we control the ball, maybe a touch better, and unfortunately they made a couple of errors. And it doesn't matter who you play, whether it's us or any team in the competition. Once they get a majority of the possession, they're very hard to hold out.
You seem to attack the right-hand side. Don't laugh too much, mate, but you seem to attack the right-hand side of the Warriors there, left-hand defence. Was that was something explained with Steve Lane taking over the coaching from Malcolm Riley?
Mate, to be honest, we nowadays we don't have too many game plans. We've got that much skill out wide with Matthew Gidley, Owen Craigie. We just have to get that. We try to get them players one-on-one with their defender, and if they do that, generally they're good enough to beat them. So it's just, I think, the way it panned out. We attacked that side, but I don't think the scoreline showed what a tough game it was. It's a very tough game.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty tough game and pretty even up to that half-time match. I think we would have been happy if we'd actually gone home in that scoreline. But I must say that Butterfield, Jackson, Harrigan all played extremely well for you.
Yeah, I'm probably the luckiest footballer in the world playing behind a pack like that. As you know, you need the forwards going forward for the halfbacks to take control. And when saying that, Joe Vagana and Quinton Ponga definitely hold their ground. They're great props.
Yeah. All right, mate, all the best. Go and enjoy the after-match celebrations, I would say, and have a good time.
I'm off to bed, Wiz.
Yeah, I know you would be too. Well, Sean Hoppy, a little bit disappointed with that result. I thought the first 40, you were outstanding.
Yeah, you're right there. Like, I thought with the first 40 we're going to come out in the second half and carry it on, but unfortunately history repeats itself, and we've done what we've done in the past, and only gone 40 minutes. Normally it's 50 or 60.
What did Frank say to you at half time? Like, I thought we all know that you're in the game, but what did he say to you?
He said everything was going okay, but he still wasn't happy with it, and he said that we've got to just retain the ball in our own half and all that sort of thing, and personal one-on-one tackles, and all of a sudden that's exactly what unfolded in the second half.
The Johns boys, you seem to leave them alone in the first half and hold your defence line, something that you worked on, because I look to me that against South last week, your defence improved 100 times better.
Yeah, if we had played like that against South last week, we would have beaten them, hopefully, But we're up 18-12 and we should have carried it on, but we went back to sleep again. But the Johns brothers, that was the key all week. We said, let's just hang off, let them run around and do their stuff, and then just keep the line, no one go out of it. But then as guys got fatigued, obviously they came out of the line and created holes for them.
All right, Hodge, well, it's another game next week, at home to City, mate. All the very best from us people and the people from back home.
Okay, thanks, Wiz.
Okay, mate. See you later.
2 up, 2 down. Unfortunately, still searching for the win required next week against Sydney City. Tonight, though, the Knights, 33-4.
Well, not quite the result that we were after, was it? And, what do you do? I'm sure that Frank Endicott is very disappointed with his boys, and he'll be giving them some sort of rev up in the change room. He's got 6 days to prepare them against Sydney City. They were stung last night by North Sydney. They'll come out wanting to fire with loaded guns, so to speak, and the Warriors really have got some soul searching to do. 6-4 at the split, and I think, along with you, that they were very much a chance in that second half, and it wasn't to be, and a bit of a repeat of what happened 2 years ago. But those Johns boys, I think the Warriors just gave them too much room and allowed them too much time with the ball in hand. They were flicking passes and looking like the Houdinis that we know that they are. Sure, there were some solid performances by the Newcastle Knights, but I think they only have themselves to blame, the Auckland Warriors. Still, like all good league fans over here, we're not going to ditch them, we're not going to give up on them. We're going to be a corner when they front up against Sydney City next week, and just hope that they're able to do a little better than they did tonight, or maybe carry on the form that they had for 40 minutes, for 80 minutes. Well, coming up on Sky, we've still got plenty more league for you this weekend, and tomorrow you can see the Canterbury Bulldogs lining up against the Brisbane Broncos. That'll be a heck of a clash, and it's live on Orange at 3:25, and you'll catch a repeat here on Sky Sport at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So Canterbury up against Brisbane, that'll be a top game. Hey, I don't know what happened to our boys tonight, but like I say, we'll be in their corner next week. I hope you've enjoyed coverage from Marathon Stadium. On behalf of the 2 Grahams, the Wiz and all the Sky crew, we wish you a very pleasant evening, and we'll catch you next time here on Sky Sport.
Sports presenters addressed by Esina and Cambridge Fine Tailoring.
And we did overcome our injuries that we had on the field. Thank you very much, Ian.
Plenty to look forward to tomorrow, with the real key being the Wellington Hurricanes against the Coastal Sharks. Live action from 2:20 tomorrow from the Palmerston North Showgrounds. Really a game which could be the game of the round. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Some action there tomorrow that we're really looking forward to. Let's head back to Ian Smith as the players enjoy themselves on the sideline.
Thanks very much, Steve. 2:20 tomorrow afternoon on Sky Sport. That is the place to be. We're all in Palmerston North for the Hurricanes against the Coastal Sharks. But today, here at Invercargill, a day belonged to the Otago Highlanders. From your Sky crew here in Invercargill, good afternoon.
Sky Sports. Kick off 8 a.m. with Super Telt Rugby. The Western Storm at Warta.
Beautiful pass. Fantastic.
9:40 Fulkirk, the Northern Bulls with Rumby. Then at 12, exclusive line, the Hurricanes are out to put the win. The Coastal Sharks.
Great try for the Coastal Sharks.
At 4:30, exclusively live NRL, North Sydney versus the St George Dragons.
She good.
And at 8:50, the Sweet Science, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Les Lewis, Shan Briggs, Super 12, NRL and boxing. Tomorrow on Sky Sport.
Independence Day. The Oscar-winning mega movie comes to television. Independence Day. Hannah's blockbuster premiere. Sunday at 8:30 on 8 Movie Channel.
It's okay. We're showing you what happens to an program if you have a program control card, the smart card that blocks all activity. To swap cards, phone this number or visit your local Sky office with your existing card. Sky gives you the choice: an ordinary card which allows you to watch all programs, or a program control card to watch all programs except those rated R18. It's usually sort of one call out after the other. It's not just tough physically, it's certainly tough on your relationships. Sometimes I get a headache. I just take a couple of Panadol, and they're good, even on an empty stomach. I'd hardly take something I didn't trust.
Panadol, New Zealand's most recommended pain reliever. Use only as directed, and if pain persists, see your doctor.
You know, life's too precious to take chances.